It is much easier to do the right thing the first time, every time, than to explain why we didn't and correct it later. Chapter 14, Pride in Performance. People who take pride in their performance take ownership and hold themselves accountable to much higher standards than others do. What is the sign of a good professional? We all have our good days in life and we all have our bad days. There are days when we wake up in the morning feeling good. The world looks nice, productivity goes up, and relationships are a lot better. No matter what we do, it comes easy. Then there are days when we wake up not feeling good, and no matter what we do, it takes a lot out of us. What is the sign of a good professional? The sign of a good professional is that on a good day or a bad day, his performance remains identical. On a good day, it comes easy. On a bad day, it takes a lot out of him. But he does not compromise on performance. Many times, professionals such as singers and speakers get booked a year in advance. How do they know that the night before the performance they may or may not fall ill? And once in a while they even do. But the next day when they get on to the stage to perform, they don't tell their audience that their performance would not be as good because they are running a fever. They don't say anything, they just perform to the same level of excellence and the audience never gets to know. Their self-esteem does not let them falter. There is a tremendous correlation between self-esteem and performance. People with high self-esteem perform no matter what, even when it hurts. Their self-esteem makes them push beyond their comfort zone and makes them excel. It's worth repeating that achievers don't compromise on performance. On a good day, it comes easy. On a bad day, it takes a lot out of them. We cannot justify poor quality and bad behavior on grounds of expediency or speed. Three greatest enemies of progress are ignorance, incompetence, and indifference. Performers look for excellence and not perfection. Perfection is an elevated goal in life. It invariably remains out of reach. A perfect picture has never been painted. A perfect symphony has never been composed. Perfection is an illusion. However, in the pursuit of perfection, we end up attaining excellence. Never settle for anything less than excellence. Excellence is a way of life. Aristotle said, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Excellence cannot be achieved without taking pride in performance. People who are habitually quality conscious can never produce mediocre results. People who take pride in performance do the right thing out of passion, not compulsion. They are committed to excellence. Every person who is committed to doing the best does not start a revolution, but surely makes a positive contribution. When we don't meet standards, there are two choices. Either we increase our efforts to meet the grade or lower our benchmarks. If we choose to lower our benchmarks, degradation seeps in. The question is, why would we compromise to lower the standards? It is because we accept degradation as a way of life and think the pain is not worth the gain. The more we compromise on our benchmarks, the greater is the degradation and damage. High performers increase their efforts to meet the grade. People who take pride in performance have a few particular attributes. They stand for quality. Excellence becomes their hallmark. They set higher benchmarks for themselves. They hold themselves accountable for results. They always give more than what they get. They are engrossed in continuous learning. They strive for continuous improvement. They are self-motivated and endeavor to do the right thing first time, every time. They are result oriented. They deliver no matter what. A good craftsman measures twice before cutting. A bad one constantly blames his tools. Pride in errors. It's a practice in our office that whenever we hire people, we give the candidate a short dictation without really rushing him. Only once he is completely through and satisfied with his assessment do we take a printout of the dictation. We then take note of the red underlined texts. Obviously, it's red either because of a spelling or a spacing mistake. In that case, we ask him, "Why is that red line showing?" He says, "Oh, I forgot to spell check. Normally I do it, but today I thought you are in a rush." The question is, if a person normally spell checks, why wouldn't he do it this time? Is he stating the truth? We gave him sufficient time without rushing him. So obviously it's clear that he normally doesn't spell check. So if we are hiring him, what are we doing? We are inviting trouble. We close the interview right then and there. It's a very simple derivation. If he took pride in his performance, would he not spell check? Would he not want to deliver a draft without errors? A person who has come for a job interview is obviously looking to get selected. If this is his best foot forward, can you imagine what his worst would be? This person takes pride in errors and not in performance. Such corrections are a matter of just a few seconds. People who take pride in performance never ever lower their standards nor accept anything short of excellence. It is the commitment to excellence that builds the reputation of being a quality person who delivers quality output. Only quality people deliver quality output. Only when we consistently deliver quality do we gain credibility, respect, and admiration. Most of the time, life gives us four choices: poor, fair, good, and excellent. How high we go up in life will depend on what we choose. Someone once said, "Every job is a self portrait of the person who does it. Autograph your work with excellence." Once a great Danish sculptor was asked, "What do you consider your best statue?" Without a second thought, he replied, "It is yet to come." A top-notch athlete was ready to compete. He seemed rather nervous. Somebody asked him, "Why are you so nervous?" His answer was, "To compete with others, I have to put in 100%, but to stay top-notch, I have to put in 150%. To attain the status of being top-notch in any field, one must put in 150%. People with pride in performance always put their heart into whatever they do. People with pride in performance don't work for recognition, but do work which is worthy of recognition. Attempt with no intent. Think of a commonly practiced scenario. Suppose we tell our secretary to convey a message to a client and we provide him the client's number as well. We give clear instructions on what ought to be done and we also tell him to let us know if he runs into any problem. The secretary confirms that he has understood the instructions and can easily handle it. He accepts to finish the work. As far as we are concerned, this task is considered done and mentally we feel relieved. Suddenly, a week later, as we are passing by the corridor, we ask our secretary if the task was done and he replies, "It wasn't." We ask, "Why?" And the answer is, "I tried the number but couldn't get through." We ask, "Then what did you do?" The answer we get is, "Nothing." If we analyze the above scenario, the recipient of the task neither did the work nor informed us about the work not being done. We weren't even told that he ran into a roadblock. He did nothing. However, he did make the first call all right and stopped. The questions that arise here are: is this responsible behavior? Did he have the intent to do the job? If he had the intent to do the job and if he ran into a problem, would he not inform us and seek help? He neither did the job nor informed us. What is this called? How do you classify this issue? Is it mistake, negligence, bad attitude, carelessness, oversight, discipline issue, integrity? What was missing in the above example? Accountability, responsibility, ownership, and intent. As a matter of fact, it is all of the above and can be summed up as attempt with no intent. In the above example, the secretary was professionally qualified to do the job, but he didn't. We are responsible both for our actions and our inactions. A person who attempts without the intent quits at the first obstacle. Professional qualifications do not necessarily make a professional. One needs more than professional qualifications to be a professional. The difference between an honest mistake and a crooked one is the intent. Only wholehearted efforts give results. The key word here is wholehearted. Half-hearted efforts do not give half-hearted results. They give negative or damaging results. Often you may have heard people say, "I'll give it a shot" or "I'll try." What they are really saying is that they'll attempt it. If it works, then it's fine. If it doesn't, they will quit. In fact, subconsciously, they have planned to quit even before they begin. They are starting from a non-committal mindset and it reflects in their behavior. It's a guaranteed failure. They'll run at the first sign of a problem. People keep looking for job security, not realizing that the greatest job security is performance. On the other hand, people who just look for security without responsibility miss great opportunities. Everybody hits roadblocks, and removing roadblocks is what a person is engaged to do. If we don't remove the roadblocks, then we are the roadblocks. In life, results are rewarded, efforts are not. We judge ourselves by our intentions, but the world judges us by our actions. People are not paid for their good intentions, but for their good actions. There is an old saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." A small good action is better than a great intention. Good intentions are not good enough. They need to be supported with good actions. What we think or believe is of little consequence. The only thing that counts us is what we do. We cannot climb a hill just by looking at it. People's abilities are measured by what they finish, not by what they attempt. The sad part of human life is that many people aspire to do things, but very few actually tap their abilities. A little ability well used is much better than much ability unused. We all have a list of things we must do: assignments, jobs, errands, etc. Most people do just enough to get by with. Yet, satisfaction only comes from going the extra mile. Life is like goalkeeping. It is not important how many goals we saved. Winning or losing depends on how many we missed. If we want to stand out, then we need to do something outstanding. Star performers are result oriented. They don't make excuses. They never say, "I thought everyone knew about it." This is a typical response of non-performers who ensure that no one considers them accountable. "I thought someone else was going to do it." This is a great justification for inaction. A responsible person should ask questions to keep things moving on track. No one ever asked me to do it, or no one ever told me about it. People who talk like this are operating with blinders or with a tunnel vision, totally oblivious of what's going on around them. They were supposed to get back to me, or they did not get back to me, or they are going to get back to me soon. All these responses are total demonstration of lack of responsibility. Why? Because expecting someone else to get back to us puts us at their mercy and stops the action from our side. This is what people do when they do not want to take the initiative but only pretend involvement. I just had no time, or I have been up to my neck. When people keep saying such things, often it is time to evaluate if they are worth retaining as their intent comes into question. I did not think of that, or I did not think that it was important to ask those questions. Such phrases show the inability or unwillingness of people to see beyond their nose and to grasp what is coming. All of the above are so-called roadblocks that put a person's intent into question. Achievers say, I must do something. Non-achievers say, something must be done. Achievers act. Non-achievers react. Pride in performance is not an event. It is an attitude. It impacts the quality of output in every area of our lives, such as relationships, work, and social contributions. Achievers realize pride in performance is not an act, it is a way of life.